It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, September 30th. So as we discussed in yesterday's forecast, we had that moon in Scorpio go void, of course, at 5:21 p.m. And of course, we are landing in and locking into Sagittarius energy 5 minutes into the day here on Friday, September 30th. So with this Sag energy, we are definitely feeling lighter. We are feeling brighter. We are feeling a little bit more pep in our step. We are highly curious. We want to kind of move out into the world. We want to open up our minds. We want to explore. Our spirits are semi-renewed, and we are just looking for new methods, new ways, new realities, new elements in our lives, because we are just freaking bored with the same old, with the same old routine, with the mundane tasks and chores. And we're quite honestly just seeking a little bit of excitement in our lives, a little bit of change as well. So anything that is kind of out of the ordinary or special in any kind of way, seeing as it isn't a repeat of Groundhog Day each and every single day, is going to be super appealing to us right now. We are futuristically focused. We are thinking big. We are trying to kind of, boost our optimism, boost our confidence, and really get excited about the prospects, the possibilities, the opportunities that await us. So we are definitely feeling that shift. And because the moon is, firing us up in these ways, and the sun, of course, is in Libra, we are just trucking along to see what it is that we can do to create a different experience for ourselves, a different reality for ourselves, a different mindset for ourselves. And we will keep in these light and fluffy vibes as we move through the next couple of days. So this is the last day of September, which means that we are wrapping up the lessons that September was here to offer us. Of course, the lesson of 9, the completion point, the ending of cycles, the closure point, if you will. And I think we can all agree that September was an absolute shit show, that it was absolutely frustrating, that we have met ourselves in a very, very ugly and dark kind of way. And a lot of that is just because we are frustrated, we are angered, we are just disheartened, and we are exhausted, quite honestly, with some of the circumstances, some of the tough love life lessons, and just some of the situations that are not resolving themselves as fast as we would like. So with this last day of September, with this, intense urgency to wrap up this freaking month and to move on, we may be feeling a little bit of, I'm going to say, excitement, anticipation, mania, if you will, because that moon in Sag just has us flying high, and we are just anxious as F to move on into a different month with a different life lesson that will bring us a lot of change and a lot of transformation. So there are 9 different aspects here today, and 7 of them involve the moon in Sagittarius. The moon is going to sextile beautiful energy right out of the gate with Venus, who just moved into her place of power in Libran energy. Now, this just took place yesterday. If you have not listened to this astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. She is in her place of power in Libran energy. She is feeling good. We should all feel a little bit of shift in the energy, in the vibe. We are on our way for the glow up, feeling good, trying to find peace and harmony and happiness and laughter in the little things. And the moon and Venus interacting in this way is definitely going to add fuel to the fire. We're excited. We are a little bit more inspired to, put ourselves out there, to be a little bit more social. We are putting ourselves out there to, discover new connections, discover new, I'm going to say, opportunities where, friendship, love, and money is concerned. So we are definitely, I guess, on the realm of looking at the future and being a little bit more optimistic and positive about things. And because of that, we are reshaping the way that we look at our personal relationships as well. The moon in Sag is going to trine with Jupiter, its ruler, who is retrograde in Aries energy. Now, this is a beautiful time. This is a beautiful energy for us, probably giving us an over-exaggerated energy of excitement and anticipation and optimism and confidence because, of course, Jupiter, he likes to magnify things. He likes to turn the volume all the way up on what it is that we're thinking and feeling. And right now we're flying high. We have our sights kind of honed in on the bigger, broader vision, the possibilities, the opportunities of the future. And Jupiter, who likes to show us where there's been growth, where there's been improvement, where there's been progress, is definitely doing just that. And because Jupiter is retrograde in Aries energy, this is kind of like an inner reflection of where it is that we have bossed up, where it is that we have made some very significant changes, where it is that we are changing the beliefs within ourselves, within the universe, within the greater plan that is playing out right now. And this is just kind of refreshing us, renewing our spirits, putting pep in our step and making us feel a little bit great, a little bit grand, a little bit dramatic, if you will, really trying to kind of hold on to these higher vibrational frequencies and emotions that we're currently sitting in. The good juju is going to continue when the moon goes ahead and interacts with Mercury. Mercury is retrograde in Virgo energy. We only have a couple of days left with Mercury being retrograde, thank goodness. But this is an opportunity for us to get our heart and our head aligned. Our heart space, of course, the moon, our head space, of course, Mercury, ruling over the mental plane, information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves. Yes, in a retrograde, but in its place of power in Virgo, which means that whatever it is that we are able to visualize, focus on in our mental plane, in our third eye, we have a great ability to actually bring to life, to manifest. We have to understand that Mercury being in Virgo energy is mind over matter, is focusing in on what it is that we want to create, what it is we need to fix, what it is we need to heal, what it is we have to return to a state of wholeness. And because Mercury is all about the mental plane and Virgo energy is an earth energy, we're able to actually manifest, to create, to give birth to bring to life these elements that we have now realized within us are kind of messing us up and blocking us from making progress and improvements moving forward. And of course, the moon in Sag is just like the hype girl that we need in order to cheer ourselves on, encourage ourselves to really get those wheels a-turning in our mental plane and focus on what it is that we have to do in the here and now to clean up the slate of past situations and circumstances so that we can get on with the party. We can get on with this forward movement that, of course, the Sagittarian energy has us deeply focused on. But of course, the Virgo energy, very logical, very practical, very, I'm going to say, not as non-emotional as the Sagittarian energy. There's not as much excitement there. We want to kind of stay grounded. We want to stay practical, but we're also very keen on solving some of these issues so that we can get on with it. We can start creating new elements in our lives instead of constantly having to tie up the loose ends of the old ones. The good vibes continue. This time, the moon is going to be bumping into Saturn, Mr. Karma himself, ruling over structures and foundations and roles and responsibilities. Yes, he is also retrograde in Aquarian energy, showing us where it is that we need better boundaries in our lives in order to put our own wants, needs, and desires as far as the top of the list goes, because sacrificing our wants, needs, and desires in the past to do what we think that other people wanted us to do or what we thought was expected of us hasn't turned out so well. So this particular energy, Saturn likes to bring us back down to earth. So there is going to be, this excitement, this confidence, this grandest optimism that the moon in Sagittarius wants to lean all the way into. But Saturn's like, you know what? Hold that vibe. But let's just be realistic with what it is that we can accomplish here, what it is we can actually manifest. And let's get down to the nitty gritty on what it is that we can take control of in the here and now to start building a proper foundation for ourselves to use as the system, as the foundation, as the structure that will house these new visions, these new dreams. So, Mr. typical negativity that Saturn usually is, he does like to slow us up a smash. He does like us to kind of remind ourselves of the tough love life lessons that we've had to learn in order to make better decisions for ourselves in the here and now and moving forward into the future. He's not trying to knock the wind out of our sails completely. He just wants us to be a little bit more focused. In Sagittarian energy, that is the biggest downfall, is that we're scatterbrained. We're all over the place. We're jumping around. We don't have direction. We don't have a focus. Saturn just wants us to channel this high vibe, optimism, this confidence, energy into something logical and practical that has a direction, that has a focus, instead of just exerting our energy and not seeing any kind of growth or improvement or productivity from it. So he's just trying to remind us that, it's a waste of energy if you're just going to jump around and not get anything done and just be excited about the possibilities and not do the work in the here and now in order for those possibilities to actually have a space to be born in. Again, the good vibes. I say this because it's not very often that we have a day where there's the majority of good vibes happening. So we have to relish in this, okay? We have to celebrate this when it happens. We have the moon sextiling the sun. This is a beautiful energy, guys. Like a sextile is a blending of the two planets, of the two energies that they're in. So we have the moon in Sag, all hyped up, just positive, just wants to explore, just wants to put ourselves out there, being positive, being confident in the possibilities yet to come. We have the sun, which is our life force energy, shining a bright light on the Libran energy. We want balance, we want stability, we want peace, we want harmony, we want to have fun, we want to find the beauty in the little things in life. We want to feel good about ourselves, we want to love ourselves, we want to love everybody, we just want everybody to get along. And so the blending of these energies is really going to be making us feel good. Like there's no other way around it. Like just ride the freaking wave, because right now, these two kind of blending our energies together, we're seeing what it is that has been heavily weighing us down. Now, we've been sitting in the funk for a very long time. I don't think any of us need to be reminded of all the things that are just beating us down. But like I've been saying, when we've been going through these darker phases, this darker energy, this darker emotion and vibration and frequency, makes us have a whole new appreciation for when we're feeling good and when there's clarity and when there's positivity and when there's confidence and optimism. And this is exactly the kind of moment that we have been training for. The funk essentially feels like it has been lifted, and we are going to relish in this. We are going to just be grateful for it. We are going to just smile. It's like having beautiful weather out there, and even though your life may be miserable and things may be coming at you, just sitting in the sun and listening to the birds chirp and just the sounds of nature just has this restoring, this renewing type of energy. And this particular aspect is giving us all of those feels and all of those vibes. Now, I suppose the day couldn't go too well. Now, not that this is going to be a major slip up or a major kerfuffle, but the moon is going to go ahead and semi-square, which is a little bit of a tension point, with Pluto, the great transformer. Now, the reason for this, I feel, is because when the funk gets lifted, it's almost euphoric. And when we're in this vibe of feeling good, we don't know why, because really nothing has changed, but we don't want to question it because we don't want it to go away. Suddenly, we realize that this is where we want to be at. This is the vibration. This is the frequency that I want to feel all the time. And then in those moments when you're feeling good, it's almost like we have to go inward and say, okay, so what are the weights? Where are the blockages? What are the obstacles that are preventing me from feeling like this, each and every single day? And what we find is that we have to move inward and really examine our mental narrative, our psyche, if you will. And what it will likely find, because we do still have 6 planets in a retrograde, is that the past is continuing to block us from our future. And I'm not saying that this is going to knock us off of our high horse. I'm not saying that, the vibe isn't going to be restored. But I think it's important for us to take a moment, even when the good times are happening, just to compare What has changed? What is different? I like this vibration. Where is my narrative change? Where is my feelings change? When I look back at some of the things that I've been obsessively, running through in my mental plane, how does it look different when I'm in a higher vibration, a higher state of being? I think that it's good sometimes when we are riding the tip of the wave, so to speak, to take a good look back and see how it is that we got here and some of the topics that we've been stuck on, and to see that when we're in a more positive mind frame, that the situations that we've been stuck on, they don't look the same. They sure as hell don't feel the same. And when we have that realization, then we realize that we have the power to rewrite our memories, our feelings, our thoughts, our narratives, and shift ourselves into a more positive vibration and frequency. Now, the high vibes are not sustainable, guys. I hate to break it to you. And we have to appreciate them when they come, and we have to use our pinnacle peak energy as a good time to just take a step out of that energy and just take a good look around. Again, acting as the observer, seeing how the landscape has changed, even though no circumstances have changed. It's literally just the energy, the vibration, and the frequency. So I think that that's going to be a good, I'm going to say, lesson for us. Now, that's pretty much the only negative aspect out of the day, and it's really not a negative one. It's just, hey, let's take a time out. Let's reflect back. Let's compare notes. Let's see where the darkness was. Let's shine a light on it and see what it looks like now. And then we move on, and the sun goes ahead and makes a very, very agreeable aspect with the true node. The true node is our destiny point. It's our soul's path. It's the path that we need to be on to reach our soul's mission, our soul's purpose. And having the sun, which is a bright light, our light force energy, shine upon the true node in this way, it shows us the path forward. It shows us what we want to do. It shows us where it is that we have to exert our energy and be a little bit more aggressive in life to achieve stability, to achieve balance, to achieve peace and harmony within ourselves, within our relationship, within our circumstances. Because again, that's what the sun in Libra is all about, is just finding balance, doing what is right, doing what is fair, doing what feels good, doing whatever we can to find appreciation and gratitude in the smaller things in life. So then Mars, the god of war, goes ahead and harmonizes with the god of the underworld, Pluto. So we have Mars, who's ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, in Gemini energy, which is ruler of the mental plane and communication and information. We have Pluto, the god of the underworld, ruling over transformation and power and control over our shadow realm, our negative thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences, who is retrograde, doing an inner reflection, an internalized review, if you will, in Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy is about authority, system, foundations, long-term goals. Now, Pluto's efforts here is to show us from a review of our past pain, past trauma, past experiences, every time we gave our power away, every time we failed ourselves by not doing what was right for us, all of these circumstances that, potentially could, we've been sitting in the funk, so we're not going back there right now. We're objectively looking at the funk that we've been sitting in. But what we're doing here is we are using it as motivation, as inspiration, as determination to do whatever we have to do to never go back there again. Mars ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, and our desires in this dualistic energy of Gemini, ruler of the mental plane. We are choosing one narrative over the other. We are choosing one path, one choice, one direction, one decision over the other. And right now, because we feel highly motivated, highly inspired to tap into our warrior spirit and never, ever go back to the place where we didn't have any boundaries, where we didn't love ourselves, where we didn't have any self-respect, and we gave all of our power away and we didn't have control over our lives. What we're doing is we are choosing a narrative. We are choosing an energy. We are choosing a direction. And that in itself is empowering, because for many of us, we have not felt like we've had the choice, like we've had power, like we've had control. And this is a game changer, because once you know, you can't unknow. Once you feel, you can't unfeel. So we are essentially leaning into new energy, a new warrior spirit, if you will, to continue to overcome and fight the darkness, fight the shadow realm, and turn that pain into power, to turn that darkness into light, to use our past pain, traumatic experiences, and suffering for good. And how we do that is we use those dark force experiences in order to light the fire under our ass and in our heart space, to keep us fired up and fueled up, to continue to push forward, to enlighten ourselves, to grow, to improve. So this is a beautiful energy, I feel, and I hope that you feel that too. And to wrap up the day, we have the moon making an interaction. I'm not going to say a negative one. I'm going to say it's a learning opportunity. It's a choice point, if you will. The moon interacts with the true note. Again, the soul's path, the destiny point, the direction that we need to take in order to reach our soul's mission and our soul's purpose. And the moon interacting with the true note in this way is likely going to present us with a situation in our exterior realm that we don't have control over, that we have to choose whether we're going to react to from a place of ego and patterns and behaviors that we haven't, quite got a grip over and changed, or whether we're going to respond from our higher self, the observer mentality. And the situation is going to present us an opportunity to react and to respond, but it's also going to present us with a situation to either push ourselves forward in pursuit of happiness, in pursuit of balance and stability and our dream and our vision, or we may choose to not do anything at all. And worse than that, we could choose to react to the situation from a place of ego, the way that we've always handled things, and of course, continue to keep those patterns going. Now, I would say if you're not able to act as the observer and choose the higher path and choose the direction that will bring you closer to the vision and the dream that you actually desire, I would say to do nothing, to not react at all. However, not reacting is also a choice. It's also a signal. It's also a vibration and a frequency to the universe that you're not willing to take action to make any changes. So I would be very careful with how you perceive this situation to be unfolding in front of you. I would give yourself a timeout to say, hey, this is probably the situation that Marley talked about. Maybe I should take a time out here, step back from it, and say, okay, so typically speaking, here's how I would react to it, which again is from ego and old patterns and behaviors. So if I don't want the same old, then maybe I shouldn't react from ego. So what are my other options? Okay, so my next option is to do nothing. But if I'm not okay with this, and it does deserve an action or a comment or some kind of response from me, then to choose non-action is to say that I agree with this and to go along with it, which I don't. So I don't know that that is the right choice. And then the third option is okay, so I see this as an opportunity for me to stand up for myself, for me to communicate clearly and with confidence what I am and am not willing to take part in, to agree with, to align with. And even more than that, I can take this opportunity to not only voice my opinion, but if there's an action that presents itself for me to take that will show how firm I am in standing my ground in this alignment, in this choice, in this path, in this decision, then that would be responding from my higher self because I see the greater, grander plan here. I see the test, I see the lesson, and I'm going to respond with my highest potential, my highest self, because at this particular point in time, I choose me. I choose my vision. I choose my truth. I choose my path. I choose my direction. I am choosing to stand in my power, and I am choosing to control this situation based off of the way that I interact with it. And when we do that, it is passing these tests, these challenges with flying colors. So I really welcome you to expect that something is going to pop off and then give yourself the time and space to step back from it and contemplate the 3 choices that I just laid out for you and see which one you are actually called to put into action.